In this video, we're going to discuss all of the unique and quest reward recipes for alchemy in vanilla World of Warcraft. Now after this 5th video in this series, you'll know where and how to learn all the recipes in classic WoW. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so we got a little bit of everything in this list. First off, we have an additional health potion that's acquired in Silverpine Forest, and we're also presented with the 3rd tier out of 4 Troll's Blood potions. We're going to be going over the Elixir of Frost Power, which is specifically useful for mages, and the Goblin Rocket Fuel, which is a regent needed by Goblin engineers in order to craft some rocket helmets, some rocket boots, and stun grenades. Gurubashi Mojo Madness is a regent needed to extinguish a Brazier in Zul'Gurub in order to summon one of 4 unique bosses who drop regents for each class's Zul'Gurub trinket. And then we have the Restorative Potion, an extremely useful PvP potion or even raiding potion removing magic, curses, poisons, and diseases once every 5 seconds. Elixir Brute Force is an unbelievable buff to have on and a great alternative if you don't have the plus 25 strength buff from the Elixir of Giants, which is a world drop recipe itself. And the advantage of obtaining this recipe is the fact that it's not a world drop. Rather, it's just a really rare drop from a repeatable quest in Ungoro Crater. And lastly, we've got the Major Rejuvenation Potion, which is an improvement from the Wildvine Potion, which restored 1 to 1500 health and mana. Now let's review how these last 8 recipes can be obtained and why they're so unique. First up, we've got the Discolored Healing Potion, which is exclusive to the Horde because it's obtained through a quest chain located in Silverpine Forest, which begins with High Executioner Hadric found in the Sepulchre. There are 3 quests in this quest chain, but you receive the recipe at the end of the 2nd quest, so that's all we're going to cover for this video. So go ahead and pick up Lost Deathstalkers from Hadric and go find Rain York in the north near the entrance to Tearsful Glades. She'll give you your 2nd quest, Wild Hearts, where you'll need to collect 6 discolored Worgen hearts from the Worgens in the surrounding area. This subsequently is the regent needed for the Discolored Healing Potion, so you're going to find this potion really only to be useful while you're leveling in Silverpine Forest collecting discolored Worgen hearts. Once you've got 6 hearts, return to the Sepulchre to Apothecary Renfarrel, where he'll reward you with the recipe and 5 discolored healing potions. One fun thing to note is that this recipe isn't bind on pickup, so if you're leveling your first character through Silverpine, this quest could score you a couple of gold on the auction house from some lazy level 60 that doesn't want to do the quest. Next up, we've got the Mighty Troll's Blood Potion recipe. Now this mechanic is so dope, and I didn't realize this was a trend in other professions and NPCs found around the world in vanilla until I discovered this one. Now the Mighty Troll's Blood Potion recipe is learned from Henry Stern, located inside the dungeon Razorfin Downs. Now the trick to locating this NPC is to just hug the left wall whenever you come in and keep making left turns until you end up in the same room as Henry Stern, located behind a clickable barricade. Now from what I've read on the forums, you're going to need a minimum alchemy skill level of 180 in order to learn this recipe from Henry. Now if this mechanic doesn't scream vanilla WoW, I don't know what does. The Elixir of Frost Power is a seasonal recipe that is found only in the Smokywood Pastures gift. In order to obtain this special gift, you need to complete the Stolen Wintervale Treats quest chain. This seasonal quest can be picked up from the goblins in the main cities of Ironforge and Orgrimmar during the Winter Vale. You'll be sent to Alterac Mountains where you need to find the investigator who ends up being disguised as a snowman. After you finish this quest, you'll be given another quest to obtain the Stolen Wintervale treats from the Yeti in the area, and then you'll return to Great Father Winter where you'll receive your special gift. Now you've got a 1 in 6 chance to get this recipe, or roughly 17%, and this quest can only be completed once a year. But don't fret, because there's 6 different profession recipes that come from this gift, and you shouldn't have a problem trading with a friend or buying this recipe off the auction house. Additionally, you could hang on to this recipe and sell it out of season for maybe some bonus profit. Now the Goblin Rocket Fuel is a regent created by alchemists and needed by engineers for their engineering crafts. What's really neat about this pattern is Goblin engineers craft this recipe but can't craft the Goblin Rocket Fuel themselves. Rather, they need an alchemist for that. Again, another really neat mechanic only found in Vanilla WoW, encouraging collaboration with other players. As for the engineers, you're going to need to specialize in Goblin engineering to learn how to craft this recipe, and it can be learned from the goblins found both in Ratchet and Gadgetzan. Next up, the Restorative Potion recipe is learned from Jarkle Mossmeld for the Horde and Gak Heel Touch for the Alliance after completing 3 quests in this quest chain. Your first quest, Badlands Regent Run, requires you to collect 3 different animal regents in the Badlands. Now I've got the locations of the buzzards and rock elementals mapped out because their locations are scarce, but as for the Crag Coyote Fang, you're going to easily obtain 10 of these off of any coyotes found in this zone. After completing this quest, you'll receive the quest Ultimen Regent Run, requiring you to obtain 12 magenta fungus caps found just outside the Ultimen instance. These fungus caps are only found inside the cave before the instance and are surrounded by elite mobs, so you may need a group to complete this part of the quest if you're not level capped. After completing this quest, you'll be sent to Eastern Badlands to fill up 3 vials with dragon's blood from the elite dragons found in this area. After completing this task, you'll be taught the Restorative Potion recipe. The first 2 quests are available to everyone, but you will need an alchemy skill of 210 in order to begin the 3rd quest, Badlands Regent Run 2. Next, the Elixir of Brute Force is an awesome recipe and a moneymaker if you can get your hands on it. Like I said earlier, the Elixir of Giants recipe granting plus 25 strength is a world drop recipe, so if you can obtain this recipe, you're going to have access to a buff that's really probably going to put you ahead of the curve. This recipe is a rare drop from the repeatable quest reward Small Brown Wrapped package. The quest requires 15 blood petal sprouts in order to receive 1 small brown package and can be repeated infinitely. The sprouts are found in Ungoro Crater on all the locations on the map here. Now, don't be fooled though, this recipe is found less than 1% of the time and can be a pain to farm. Although, if you're leveling through Ungoro, you may stumble upon a small fortune if you get this recipe out of one of these boxes. Next up, the Gurubashi Mojo Madness recipe is learned from a tablet inside of the raid Zul'Gurub. This recipe is required in order to summon one of the 4 bosses that drops a piece to your epic Zul'Gurub trinket. Again, this is another one of those flavorful mechanics to learning profession recipes in Vanilla WoW. Now last up on the list, we have the Major Rejuvenation Potion, which has an upgraded usability to the Wildvine Potion. This recipe has a chance to drop off of 7 different bosses found in Molten Core at less than 1%, and it's most likely going to be dedicated to the Guild Alchemist when it does drop. Yo, thanks for watching this Alchemy Guide series so far. Up to this point, we've covered every single item available in Alchemy in Vanilla World of Warcraft, so go ahead and give the previous videos a look and subscribe so you can reference these videos come classic. Now if you appreciate the content, show me some love and hit that like button for me and tell me how I did in the comment section. Until next time, it's your boy Grace for Days. Howdy.